Welcome to the Sideline Live podcast. Subscribe for more episodes and follow our social media at the Sideline Live. We'd love to hear from you. On episode 28, I'm delighted to be joined by Lafayette commit and sharpshooter CJ Fulton. On this episode, we had a brilliant chat about his career, advice to younger players, and much more. CJ is a very humble individual and a great role model for younger players. I hope you enjoy. Hi CJ, thanks a million for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Can you give maybe a little background for the listeners who don't know who you are?
So my name's CJ Fulton. I'm at the Winchendon school in Massachusetts, at a prep school playing basketball at the minute. I'm from Belfast, so I played basketball growing up with St Malachy's College and Belfast Star, and next year I'll be heading to Lafayette University here in the States to play college basketball.
Very good. So we're going to go back to kind of growing up, but you've a deep family history in basketball. Can you explain to the listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, just my dad and my granddad are both deeply involved in basketball, so I just was basically growing up just immersed in the sport really. My dad captained and played for Ireland. My granddad coached Ireland, so there's a big family history within basketball and sports in general on both sides of my family. So.
Did you play anything else growing up, or was it just basketball?
No, I played everything. I played loads of sports: Gaelic, Gaelic football, basketball, golf, whatever. So.
What made you decide basketball? Was it that family history?
Yeah, I think I just enjoyed it the most. I played all sport. Like I played Gaelic football until I was about 13 with my club team.
Okay.
I was involved in the Northern Ireland football team and the
wow.
Irish under-15 development team when I was about 15, so I sort of had to make a decision there, but I enjoyed all the sports. I just probably loved basketball the most. So.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know you had a bit of a soccer background. And growing up then, did you mention there your dad, regarded as one of the best Irish players, did you feel pressure at all growing up?
Not really. Like, I put pressure on myself just because I'm competitive. I want to play well and perform, but
okay.
No, not really from him. Like he's cool with it. I didn't have to play basketball. I could have done whatever I wanted to, but no, I didn't feel any pressure really.
Was there any maybe external pressure, people just expecting it to be really good?
Yeah, I wasn't too concerned. Like I sort of expected that from myself, so I wasn't too concerned about it's nice to get compliments on your game and stuff, but I wasn't really I didn't really care what they were expecting from me in terms of my play. So.
Okay, you were kind of just kind of keeping within your own circle, that kind of mentality.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Do
you think playing the same position as your dad and having him there kind of drove you more to carve out your own path and your own career?
Maybe. Having him playing the same position, sort of the same style as me was definitely a big help. I could learn a lot from him, so.
Mm-hmm.
But I think our games I didn't get to play a lot, but everyone tells me that we play like similar styles and same sort of players. So
who's going to win 1-on-1 though?
Oh, me for sure.
Adrian, if you're listening.
Yeah, and it's not close either. 5 years ago, 5 years ago, yeah, 5 years ago it might have been him, but yeah, I don't think. I think we played last year and I beat him. So
you torched him.
Yeah.
And then kind of growing up then, outside of, your family influence, who was your favourite player growing up? Who did you watch?
I watched a lot of Steve Nash and Steph Curry. Growing up, they're the two main players. I try to model my game after theirs in a lot of ways. So.
Was there any Irish players that really stuck out for you?
Yeah, like I said, I think I was doing an interview with Basketball Ireland, I think it was, and I was just saying I wasn't watching a lot of Super League games growing up because I was more concerned about just playing at the sides myself with my friends. But I really liked watching Isaac Westbrook's growing up. Yeah, he was probably the main one as a point guard as well. I really liked his game. Paul Dick as well. Yeah, they were probably the two main guys.
Yeah, Isaac has the ball has the ball on the string. Like it's mad the way he controls it.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah. When did you? So you kind of mentioned there it was about 15 where you kind of really decided, right, I really want to go here with the basketball, and you kind of had to make that decision.
Yeah. Like I said, I played everything, but yeah, that was sort of with being on the Irish under 15 development team and Northern Ireland squad as well. It was sort of because you were training like I was three times a week with the football, and then you were every other weekend with the basketball. So it was probably
Okay.
too big of a commitment to do both.
And then, like, at what point, I have a question here, like, what point does hard work come in with that passion that you had for the sport? Was it around 15 or was it maybe younger that you really kind of worked hard at it?
Yeah, I'd always worked hard. I was just like I was enjoying it, but I was working hard just because you want to get better, you want to keep improving. But
Okay.
like even when I was just doing basketball, I wasn't really thinking about coming to America and pursuing basketball over here. I was just sort of enjoying basketball with Star and Smalachy's. And I was working hard, but maybe if I'd like had that dream of playing college basketball at a younger age, I would have
Okay.
maybe focused on that a bit more, like at an earlier stage. So
Okay. And when did the interest, like, did you kind of think, oh, maybe I could go to the States? I kind of want to do this.
it wasn't even. It was probably just the last few months at Smalachy's, my last year there. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, like it was late. I was just focusing on playing like Super League that season and doing my A levels and stuff, and then obviously COVID hit. So
Okay. Right. So you're kind of real focus in the moment type of person. You don't like to look too forward.
yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
could say that probably. Yeah.
And we had a question in about training and kind of practicing every day. How often would you practice and what would you have practiced maybe kind of when you hit that 15, 16 age?
It varied, but I probably had the average was probably two practices a day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Um, like growing up, like when I was playing everything, like I was doing mad stuff. You could be playing basketball in the morning before school, and you'd have like a tough PE session because the PE department in Smalkies are obviously really good. You do like a fitness workout with them. You'd play basketball at lunch with your friends. And you might have like football or Gaelic practice after school, and then club basketball practice that night. So you could be doing as much as five workouts in a day on some days. But yeah, but in terms of basketball, I try and get like an individual workout in
Junior
most
Mac.
days when I was in Smalachy's, and then you have team practices as well on top of that.
Okay. And would those individuals or teams be before school or after school or
Yeah, it just depended. Yeah,
depending on whatever? And what were you working on maybe in those individual sessions?
just shooting mostly, ball handling stuff that me and my dad sort of identified as stuff we could work on.
There was nothing specific that really stood out.
In the last, more so in the last few years, I've been working on more specific stuff. But growing up, it was a bunch of everything.
Just having fun with it nearly.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone threw in advice there as well. I think they're in the secondary school age group. Advice on improving as a 3 point shooter. Do you have anything for maybe their age?
Just a lot of reps. There's no secrets. It's just a lot of reps, a lot of practice. I would say I was listening to a podcast with Pat Price and Dave Hopla. He
Hmm.
was saying you should focus on mid range first, like as growing up, because you don't want, like he says, a lot of people are going straight to the 3 point line now, but
Yeah.
he says focused on form shooting and your mid range stuff, and then eventually that will come as you get stronger and you develop a bit more as well. So I wouldn't be
Mm.
rushing to just be shooting threes.
Yeah. It's like the Steph Curry effect. Everyone just wants to start throwing up trees.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Half court shots, yeah. Looking back, what do you think, kind of from what you know now and through all your training, is there any particular skill that is maybe underrated or overlooked for players?
Um, I would say passing, maybe just being able to take care of the ball, especially at European level. You see, Irish teams traditionally have struggled with turnovers going to Euros and stuff, just because of we haven't got the length and size back
Hmm.
home. So I would just say being able to take care of the ball, limit turnovers, and your passing as well. I would say maybe an
Okay.
underrated skill.
Okay. And is there any particular attribute that you think that players kind of, the way people just want to get the highlights rather than maybe do the little things?
Maybe uh, maybe some people think it's all about scoring, or but like there's lots of people at all levels, college basketball, NBA. There's people being really successful and making lots of money just because of they have their role and they do it really well. So
Yeah.
if you do your role really well, then uh, you're gonna get playing time. So
Yeah, exactly. You were chatting about kind of that age. I think you're under 16 skills game. Talk us a little about that because you ended up going a little bit viral there on the internet. Can you explain it for the people who don't
yeah,
know what happened that day?
yeah. We played. was the under 16 All Ireland final, schools final. I hit 15 threes. I think it was 15 out of 18,
Yeah.
11 in the first half. So
Nuts. What was it like going into that game? Were you like, I'm just gonna hit 15 3-pointers today?
no, we had an under 19 final. That the under 16 final was on the Thursday.
Oh, okay.
We lost 2 days before in the under 19 final to Temple Ogue.
Oh, right. Okay.
So yeah, I didn't want to lose two finals in a week. I missed a few three. I didn't shoot the ball particularly well on the Tuesday, but
Okay.
going into Thursday, just in the warm up, I felt good and I was locked in. So and then I think they started off in a zone, so I got hot early, and then I was just able to keep it going. So
Yeah. Are you kind of one of those that when you get hot early, you get confident and you're kind of ready for the whole game then?
yeah, I think one thing I could definitely improve on is just being aggressive early and
Hmm.
having an aggressive mindset early. A lot of the time, I can sort of just play the game as it comes to me, which is good. But sometimes you could maybe look for my own shot as well earlier in the game. So and
Okay.
then yeah, I had a few open looks, and then so just yeah, it was a good day for me.
Yeah, one of those days where you couldn't really miss. And would you do anything before a game in particular? Like you were saying, you were just kind of, in the warm, feeling really good. Is there anything in particular you would do before a match to get in that zone?
Um, yeah, I would like I always start in close to the basket, form shooting and stuff. I do some ball handling, but
Hmm.
for those games like school games, it's mostly just warming up as a team. So
Yeah.
like before we get on the bus from Belfast down to the arena, we know we might have like a 20-30 minute shoot around just in Malachy's before we get on the bus. But
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you won't have the same time as let's say a Super League game.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hmm. And when you hit 11 threes in the first half and it's half time, what do you think about, like, what's going through your head?
I honestly wasn't even thinking, but like when they called it the 15 threes at the end of the game, I was shocked. I knew I was
Okay,
shooting it really well, but I didn't think I had that many at all. So I
you
was
lost
just
count.
yeah, I was just focused on winning, and I think we had a good lead at halftime, so we were just focused on uh, having a good third quarter, and then that would sort of seal the deal. So
Okay, yeah. And I get the sense then you didn't really struggle to try stay in the moment. Then you were just so focused on winning and just keep going. Like,
yeah, yeah, I was definitely locked in. So yeah,
mhm. Do you think did you ever struggle to kind of lock in, or was that just something you were kind of natural at? It comes easy to you.
no, I think just not like there's certain times if you're maybe when you're tired at the end of a game, you make more mental mistakes, but
Hmm.
most of the time I'm pretty good at just focusing on the game and blocking out any distractions. So
Okay, yeah. What was your reaction to, like, kind of the response after with videos and social media, and I think Bleacher Report had it and all this stuff on the internet.
and you had some of the comments on Bleacher Report like absolutely going after me, but
Oh, really?
yeah, it was well. You had some comments that were well done or whatever, and then there were other guys that were just absolutely laying into me. So it was funny,
Oh,
but
okay.
my
Yeah,
sister was more annoyed than me at that, I think, but.
yeah.
It was
That's
good. I
mad.
think there was a bit of a buzz around the school for like the next 2 days or so, and it just sort of people just sort of forgot about it. But
Yeah.
no, it was good. It was crazy to see the response that I got from it.
Yeah, the Twitter anyway was absolutely like hopping, especially like if you follow Basketball Ireland, like, and everyone in the community was like, everybody was just tweeting about you hitting 15 3-pointers, like, it was mad. Like, was
Yeah.
that sort of a early defining moment, do you think, of your career? Like, did you get any sort of interest from anywhere after that, or was it just kind of a cool internet thing?
I think it probably helped. Like I think coaches like before I came here to Winchendon, the coach knew about it and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think it sort of yeah, it was a cool internet thing, but also set me up like the next year for playing Super League and
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Okay, but it wasn't like someone reached out to you, oh hi, I saw your 15 3-pointers, I'm interested in whatever.
No, no, it wasn't anything like that. No.
Okay. And then you went into Super League that season, was it? Or was there a gap there?
The season after that, so that was about January time, and then that year or later on in the year. So I think that I was
Okay.
16 going into that Super League season.
Yeah, how did you find that?
I was just sort of thrown in the deep end really because uh, I wasn't expecting to play that year at all. I was just sort of going to practice with the team, maybe get a few minutes here and there, see what happened. But Connor and Aidan Quinn both got injured in the preseason.
Hmm.
Um, so I was just sort of thrown in the deep end. Like I said, we went to a preseason tournament in Templeogue, and I played pretty well there. So that sort of gave me a bit of confidence. But after that, I think my first game was against Swords in Belfast, and then I just sort of went from there. I think we won like 7 in a row, and then
Wow,
sort
okay.
of ran out of gas at the end of the season. But yeah, that was pretty fun that year.
Yeah, so you kind of took that momentum of that game and kind of brought it into your confidence wise kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. Just that first game against Colester we played, it was just a preseason tournament
Hmm.
in Oblet Hall, and I just came off the bench and I had like 8 points in 5 minutes. Um,
Hmm.
so that was, yeah, hitting my first couple of shots and just getting a sort of a taste for what it was like. That definitely helped set me up for that season.
Hmm. Mentally, did you struggle to kind of make the jump, as in you're now playing against grown men and it's not 16, 17-year-old kids?
Not mentally, probably. I thought like, especially after that preseason tournament, I felt like I could hang, and like my dad and my teammates were supportive. They all trusted me, so
Okay.
it was probably more physically, like just playing against grown men, as you said. I think like my first game against Swords, I remember it was one of the first possessions, and I just cut down the lane after a pass, and I think it was Kevin Lacey just gave me a bump and it wasn't like a bad like aggressive or anything. It was just bumping the
Yeah.
cutter, but I was winded for like the next five possessions. It was brutal.
Yeah, he probably doesn't even remember doing it, just like a natural
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. So it was mostly just like physical aspect of it, and then being vocal as well. Like as a young guard coming in and having to tell like a point guard, you're meant to be sort of organizing the team.
Hmm.
And like I struggled with that at the beginning, just telling guys who had been in the league like for 10 years, some professional players, and just telling them what to do
Yeah.
basically. So I had to get better at that.
Yeah, you kind of had to find your voice nearly with the older
Yeah,
guys, obviously. Yeah,
yeah.
okay. And what advice, you kind of mentioned it there slightly, what advice would your dad and your teammates have given you that coming into that first year?
They just said, it's still basketball. Like it's not just play the way that you do, work hard, and then just let it come to you. Don't overthink it or anything like that. So
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
the confidence I got from my teammates that year definitely helped like make it easier for me.
nearly like don't force it. Just do what you do normally. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And what was it like, kind of going out and being like, this guy is being paid to come to Ireland and to play, and not even that you have to tell him, but you have to go up against lads like that.
Yeah, it was I was just enjoying it.
Mm.
Like I wasn't guarding a lot of the Americans, but it was definitely a step up in the level. Like we had Mike Davis that year as our American. He was a really tough player.
Hmm.
But I enjoyed playing. Like you want to play against the best players. So
Yeah, exactly, and learn from them. What was the pace like, and the physicality? Like, you kind of spoke the physicality, but more the pace, kind of moving up to that level.
yeah, it was just a step up in general. But I think like I was ready for it. I had to obviously adapt in the first number of games, but I
Hmm.
think we won like first 7 in a row maybe, and then maybe got a bit tired. I got a bit tired with everything else going on, but um
Okay.
yeah.
And at the time, I didn't have the questions of it, but were you involved with the Irish squad at that time? Had you gone to Europeans, as in, would you have had experience with the higher level of play?
Yeah, I think yeah, that's it. I think so as well. I'm not sure if I'd been a one or two at that stage, probably two.
Okay, so that nearly helped you with that as well, because you were kind of used to bigger, stronger, faster players.
Yeah, for sure. Being involved in those Irish teams going away to Euros and being coached by likes of Pat Price and Poddy and Mike Lynch and being on those teams was definitely a big help as well.
Who was your toughest matchup then in Super League?
Uh, probably Cal Hosford.
Okay, what makes him so special?
He's just a really tough player. I don't think I've ever had a great game against him where I've felt like I've got the better of him. I think yeah, he's just a good all round player. He's He can shoot it. He's quick, athletic. I think the first game I played against him in the Procure Hall, uh, Connor, was it Aiden? Like, I can't remember. Someone was injured and they were meant to be marking him, so I had to mark him, and I felt like I did a pretty good job on him, but he had like 26 still. So
Genie Mac, you were kind of having a rough day then, maybe.
yeah, yeah. He's a tough player though. So
And that was your. So what year was that then? I'm just trying to get a timeline. So that was 2018, 19?
yeah, 2018 I think. Yeah.
And then, so coming into 2019, 2020, obviously the season was cut short by COVID, but what was that like having the coming in with a year experience with Super League?
Yeah, that was a big help just having that under my belt. And then we'd had a good season as a team, but we didn't win anything. We lost in the Champions Trophy final,
Mm-hmm.
and then we sort of ran out of gas in the league, like I said. So we sort of had a step up in level to where we were the previous years, but we wanted to make another jump going into that season.
Mm-hmm. Personally, was there much you worked on in between that summer? So it would have been the summer of 2019.
Yeah, that was probably my best off season yet, because we were going to the Euros, under 18 Euros that year with Paul
Mm-hmm.
Keller's team. And I was doing two workouts a day, and then the individual sessions I was kind of making 500 shots every day with my dad. So
Wow. Not even shooting, it's making 500 shots.
yeah, making I think we seen something from Clay Thompson was doing that, and we just decided to do that every day. So, and that was the best shooting year I had at the Euros as well by far. Like
Okay.
I felt really good that year. So
Okay, right. And is that, whereabouts are you hitting those 500 shots? Like, how is that spread across the court?
we'd have different workouts. We started in close, floaters, um, form shooting. Then you could have different workouts. You'd have stuff off ball screens,
Mm.
pull ups in transition, eventually going out to threes, and we would mix it up.
And were you more focused on the makes rather than maybe percentages, or would that have played into it at all?
No, you're trying to like make as good a percentage as you can.
Yeah.
So depending on how well I shot, I was in there for probably an hour to an hour and a half, maybe.
Okay.
But I just that summer I was just shooting it really well, like in
Yeah.
workouts. So I was
Yeah. It
probably
gave you
yeah
the confidence.
going into it for sure. Yeah.
100%. And you spoke about there, like, if there's any younger players listening, like, what sort of schedule was that during that summer in case maybe some of them, I don't know, have time to recreate this?
Uh, I was probably going in and doing that in the morning or lifting in the morning, and then uh, I was getting two workouts in a day. So you maybe wake up, have breakfast, go work out, come back, uh, get lunch, and go work out, and then you're back in for dinner.
Like, where does this motivation come from? Like, Puff sent in a question, like, why do 500 makes a day? Why do all these workouts? Where does this come from?
Just like when you see, like I said, like I had a really good shooting year that year at the Euros in terms of percentage. So
Mm-hmm.
you see that you're putting the work in, and you see the results from it. That's just one of the best feelings you can get, I think, and just that winning feeling after matches as well, and you've helped your team as well. So
Mm-hmm. It's like a cycle. It's the more you put in, the more you get out. So you just keep putting more in and you keep
yeah,
getting more out
yeah,
of it.
exactly.
Yeah. Did you get hurt at that Euros? I think someone mentioned it before.
Yeah, I did. I got injured again. I think it was the Belgium game. So it was our first classification game after the group games. So
Okay, what happened?
a guy came under me when I was shooting a three. I just landed on his foot and did my ankle. So
Oh, sugar. And were you out for long then with that, or?
I was out for I didn't play. That was so we had three games left after that. So I didn't finish the tournament, and then I was probably out for about 3 4 weeks after that. Um, I've
Okay.
been I can always come back too soon with my injuries. I just get
Oh, dear.
yeah.
And was it frustrating then having to be on the sideline, not being able to obviously help your team? And
Yeah, for sure. I think we're going into that Euros with high hopes. I think we definitely could have finished. We were looking to finish top eight, and then so it was pretty disappointing, especially getting injured and not being able to help out in the last few games as well. But
mm-hmm.
yeah,
kind of helps drive you on. Then you came back a bit too soon, but when talk us through that the 2019-2020 season, because you personally you had a great year, like young Super League Player of the Year, then the club won Super League. Like talk us through that. That's what sounds like from what you're saying is sort of the dream, where you didn't dream of maybe going to college. You dreamt of helping Belfast Star.
Yeah, that was it. Just after that first season, we were looking to make a jump up again as a team because we didn't win anything, even though we had a good season. So
Mm-hmm.
and just off the back of that Euros as well, I was feeling pretty good. So we had quite a lot of young guys in our team. There was a lot of guys from Stars, from Malachy's growing up, so we had a close team, and yeah, we just had a great year together. Delaney obviously coming in was the player of the year. He was fantastic, and then Keelan coming back as well was a big help for us. He had a great year as well. So
You were just kind of building momentum already from that first year to go and play well.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
You mentioned it earlier. What's your sort of pre-game routine before a Super League game?
Normally I go out and uh, I do just some stretching on my own, some foam rolling, and then some form shooting. I just do the form shooting on my own, some ball handling. I'd go out, I'd like step out further, go out mid range and threes, and then by that stage, most of the team's out, and you're starting your own workout as a team. So
Okay, you don't do any half court shots or from the other side of the hall or anything.
no, none of the Steph Curry tunnel shots or anything like that. I might get a
Yeah,
few deep threes in, but that's as far as I go.
yeah. And are you superstitious at all before a game?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
Yeah.
what are those superstitions?
I don't know. It's just weird stuff. Uh, Connor Quinn always slacks me for it. I before I go into the game, I always untie my shoelaces and just tie them again, make sure they're tight. I don't know why, but
Okay,
that's one thing I always do.
yeah. You've no like specific meal you have, like chicken and pasta or something.
Yeah, I normally eat some pasta before about 2-3 hours before the game.
Okay, and there's no. I'm gonna rob a question from the Shot Clock podcast, which will be linked below. Is there any like music taste? What's your sort of warm up music?
I'm not a big music guy before like work like games or workouts even. Just I'll
Okay,
just listen to like personally. I'll listen to whatever's on. Like I like listening to music, but I won't. I'm not one of those guys who's gonna put in his own headphones
okay,
and do
yeah.
and do his own stuff and listen to his own stuff. I'll just listen to whatever else is on. So
You don't control the playlist. Who does that in Belfast?
there was a bit of controversy over that because it was one of the
Oh,
players, and then it was one of the players, and then I think uh, a guy Raymond O'Neill was taking over. He's been involved in the club for a while, and he's got like an '80s style music, so he was putting on a lot of older stuff.
okay.
But
Didn't
it
go
was
down
mostly
well then.
yeah, it was mostly I think Sean Quinn, mostly.
Okay. And talk us through, because I had a good question in. Uh, do you ever go out in the court and just want to, you know what I mean? This guy, I'm going to kill him. And that's a question from Puff Summers.
Yeah, I saw that question when you sent me, and I knew that was from Puff. Um, that first season, I mean, not really anyone in particular, but that season, I think that first season, I was coming in like small, skinny 16-year-old, and you could tell there was a lot of guys that were thinking, I'm just gonna bully this kid, I'm just gonna dominate him today, like,
Mm-hmm.
so like you could see guys were a bit confident going up against me in the first number of games, so I enjoyed sort of
Taking them
proving them
down a
wrong,
few
and yeah,
steps.
just sort of
Yeah.
humbling them a little bit.
Yeah. Do you find you struggle to, or can you control, like, if you get angry or frustrated during a game, does that affect your play at all? Whether it's positive or negative?
I don't normally get too flustered. If anything, it's probably probably directed towards the refs if I feel I'm not getting. Like I've, I've got better at that as well. I think over here, especially because any trips I've been over here and this year, you can tell that there's a lot more like talking back to the ref over here is it's not as big a thing, but it's not
Okay.
as back home. So it's not like I've anything against restaurants. It's just something I got like I've worked on as well. So
Yeah, okay, I know what you mean. And how do you sort of balance then a killer mentality versus what's doing best for the team? Because sometimes, if it depends on the team, it depends on your role, but you kind of need to go out and score and be, the guy, or how do you balance? Then sometimes you have to be a team player and get the ball into the right hands.
Yeah, I think especially when I was growing up, like in teenage years, like early on at Smalkies and stuff, I wasn't much of a scorer at all. I was more get my teammates good looks, and I was more of a passer probably than anything else. But in the last few years,
Okay.
I've sort of developed more into a bit of a scorer. Especially sort of Super League. I had a good year last year in terms of scoring. Like there were some games. Like I remember one game we went away to Enna and we were without Keelan. So
Okay.
games like that, I knew I had to be more aggressive from the start. Yeah,
Okay, so you nearly had to. What I'm hearing is nearly you were sort of when you were younger, nearly pass first, whereas now you kind of know, right, I need to turn it on here. I need to go get some scores.
yeah, and like I said, we're sort of my dad's told me a couple of times that I need to do that from the start of games as well. Sometimes I sort of wait until the second half before I really get going. So
Yeah.
maybe just coming out with that attitude at the start of games, still having that letting the game come to you, and obviously helping the team, but just having that sort of killer mentality, like you said it as well.
How special was it then to win Super League with your dad as a coach? I know your granddad was assistant, so he would have been on the bench as well. That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really really cool. A lot of it didn't end like the way we wanted to. Obviously, it was a bit of controversy, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, it was we had a great year. I think Charlie will probably disagree, but I thought we deserved to win that year, and doing it with my dad and Granda there was really special as well.
So around what time was it that you started to think, right, I want to go to maybe prep school here? When did that process start?
Uh, that was probably just as the season was coming to an end. Um, we
Okay.
had we had the cup. The cup was in January, and then after that, I started thinking about it a bit more because I knew that after the season was over, I would have to think about that. I would
Hmm.
have to make that decision, and then COVID came, and we didn't know how long it was going to be around for at that stage, obviously. But it looks like I made a pretty good decision with what's going on back there at the minute.
Yeah. Why Winchendon? Was there anyone else? Was there any other schools that you kind of reached out to? I know there was a slight connection there with Dara O'Sullivan.
Yeah, Dar was a massive help. Obviously, he was here the year before me. He could tell me everything about the school, and he really enjoyed his experience here. The other one in Florida, I think was DME Academy. So that was more. I don't think there was as much school as over here. It was mostly
Okay.
basketball, like an academy sort of setup.
Hmm.
But Ben Morello, who came in as an American for us during that last Super League season, for I think it was like 68 weeks when Delaney was hurt. His cousin is actually the assistant at that team in Florida, so that was the connection there.
Okay.
But no, it's just everyone seemed to fit with Winchendon. Dara obviously being here, he enjoyed it. He was a big help. And then my dad's friends were talking to, or like my dad has friends over here who knew Coach Keogh, the coach here at Winchendon,
Yeah.
and they said he was a great guy as well. So that's what we went with.
Okay. You were kind of saying in an interview before, I have a quote here. It was a massive decision for me leaving my family and friends behind and going out in my comfort zone, but I wanted to challenge myself and develop. What was that decision like? Because I get the sense you're maybe a slight home bird, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I sort of felt like I was going to be staying home for the last couple of years of Smokies. I didn't really think I'd be coming over here, but yeah, it was a tough decision. But I just thought that if especially after winning that Super League that season, I think that um, if I wanted to keep getting better and improving, I think that college basketball was the best route to take.
Hmm. I had it written here: under 18, under 19 skills, male player of the year, men's Super League player of the year, Super League All Star first team, Super League title. How do you stay focused and not be like, oh well, look at me, I've got all this? Because from chatting to you, you're not like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just uh, those accolades are nice, but you're always just trying to get better yourself. And I mean, there's times, especially after after the 15 threes and the Super League season, that uh, like with people coming up and talking to you and Basketball Ireland and doing interviews and whatever, it was sort of like you couldn't do anything wrong. So even if you had a bad game or whatever, it would still be like CJ plays well, or like you're getting all the attention. So
Okay.
just trying to block out all that, and like my family and my friends were did a good job of keeping me grounded as well. I never got really never really got too hyped up with all that stuff. So
Okay. There's a nice bit of friendly slagging, I guess. Then, yeah.
oh yeah, of course.
100%. Do you struggle then with, because I know you don't really like media things, so I appreciate you coming on. Is that something then you kind of made a decision to kind of maybe not say no to, but just kind of be like, oh, I'm just going to focus a little bit on basketball here?
Yeah, I don't like. It's just try to keep a low profile. Yeah, I'm not. I don't like being as like. Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind it. It's just I would rather just be listening to the podcast rather than on it.
Okay, all right. So you're out of your comfort zone a little bit here, so I
I
appreciate you
am.
coming
Yeah,
on.
this is my worry is here after accepting this one. I'll get a few guys have been on to me that I've turned down. So
Yeah. Oh,
I hope they don't feel too bad. But
yeah. Toughest adjustment then to playing in the US. Like, how did you find coming over? Actually, how did your schedule work out? I forgot to ask with COVID and training and all that stuff.
we've been pretty lucky in is that we can practice. So we've been practicing pretty much as normal, just with masks on, which is terrible, but it means we get to play at
Okay.
least. So our schedule is normally we lift Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and then you've practice Monday to Friday. So we haven't got that many games. We've only played 5 games this season against 2 different teams. So
Right.
that's been the only thing that's yeah, it was pretty tough, and like it wasn't the full experience, and that obviously the games and stuff, you're not getting a full season. You're just looking to play games, and there's no playoffs or anything. And then there might be a time when you're looking to get in the gym, just to get shots up or work out with another guy, and you can't do that because you have to have there's gym slots just for your dorm.
Right. Okay.
So we were a bit more limited in what we could do, but I guess it's sort of about perspective. Like can still practice here, even though
Yeah.
even though I'm only getting a certain amount like allocated times where I can go, I just can't go whenever. It's still more than I would be doing back home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice way to put it. I'd say maybe then going through, because it sounds pretty rough. Like, what you're doing, it's a tough schedule, even with just the practices. Like, that must have been hard. Being like, look, we're doing all this practice, and yeah, I'm getting better, but like, there's no games, and all you want to do is play. Like,
Yeah, like it was just we've been trying to get games, but then we've been sent home a couple of times with COVID cases on campus as well. So
okay.
yeah, like the athletic director here is great. He's been trying to get us games. It's just really tough with
Yeah.
this year going on. So I think a lot of the outdoor sports are getting games at the minute, but basketball's still struggling. So
Okay. And by you, when you said they're sent home, is that just you have to quarantine in your rooms or something, or is it just, how does that work?
no, that's literally go home. That's
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
So
So,
I think I've been home. We've been sent home twice. Uh, Going back home. So
right.
yeah,
Back
I
to
mean
Belfast, like?
yeah, back home we could choose to stay here in quarantine, but if there's no basketball here, then there's not really much point in us staying.
Okay. That's mad. And when was that? Was that last year, or was that more this year, sort of?
We were sent home at the end of October, I think, or start of November time,
Okay.
and then we were sent home again. We had spring break over March, so we were sent home like a week or two before that.
That's mad. And how long is it sent home for? Is it 2 weeks, or is it longer, or?
Uh, yeah, I think the quarantine period is like 10 to 14 days. So uh,
That's mad.
yeah, the last one going into was just before spring break anyway, so it was just we got an extra week of holidays. But
Yeah, it's pretty stressful though, especially if you're traveling home, and I'm sure there's other international students as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, um, it's nice to go home and see your family, but obviously you want to get as many games as you can over here as well. But
yeah.
there's a guy from England, a guy from Germany, and then there's guys from all over the US as well. So
Okay, yeah. So they're all sort of flying home, even though they're obviously within the US. So with the games, then, how did you find the level? I know there was only five. What was the level like? What was the toughest maybe adjustment to it?
Toughest adjustment was probably just the athleticism, maybe.
Okay.
There's much more emphasis over here on that kind of stuff rather than maybe as much skill like the European sort of style. But
Hmm.
yeah, so that was probably the biggest adjustment. It's a lot faster over here. Coach Keo likes to play at a fast pace as well, so
Okay.
um, just trying to get up and down a bit quicker as well.
And what are those practices like then? I get the sense that they're pretty fast paced.
Yeah, yeah, we got uh, they're good practices. They work us hard. It's tough with the masks, but like I
Okay.
said, at least we're playing. It means we can play, so can't complain.
Yeah, because unfortunately here we're still waiting to go back, but that's another conversation for another podcast. You mentioned S&C in the Basketball Ireland interview. What was the like? Is that a serious emphasis over there? How often are you lifting weights?
Uh, three times a week, and then you can go in if you've got a gym slot maybe at the weekend or something. You can go in with your dorm floor and do something by yourself. So there's
Okay.
just much more emphasis in general. Like I think the fact that I was having success back home without really having to do that much lifting, maybe meant that it wasn't like I could have done more. Obviously, like I should have been doing more looking back. Um,
Okay.
but because I was doing fine without it. I just maybe if I struggled a bit more from an earlier age with that, I would have like I remember one game. I think the semi final in Cork in the Mardyk, we played UCD in that first Super League season,
Yeah.
and I just got absolutely bullied by I think Barry Drum, Scott Kinnivan, Cal Finn the whole game. I think I had a terrible game in Cork in the semi final, so I was really disappointed after that. But they were just really physical with me, so after that I knew I had to put much more emphasis on S&C.
Okay. So you would have done then some of it obviously in Belfast before going abroad. Can you compare kind of the different workouts that you would have had, whether it's at home and in the States?
Um, I think maybe it's a lot of similar stuff. Maybe more leg workouts over here, more leg workouts in terms of like maybe deadlifting and plyometrics as well over here. Improving the athleticism as well. So
Okay. Is that the biggest thing you've seen an improvement in during your time in the States?
just in terms of yeah, the strength, yeah. It's been tough with my ankle this year in terms of improving athleticism and jumping and stuff, but I've definitely got a lot stronger. So hopefully
Okay.
keep going with that because I'm still the college level nowadays is crazy. So
Yeah. Do you still struggle with your ankle then slightly?
a little bit, but it's getting a lot better. So
Okay, yeah. Nearly
yeah,
when you're strengthening it, it probably nearly helps with it get better, like obviously.
yeah.
Mm. So why Lafayette? I know you had a couple of offers. What made them stand out?
Just everything seemed to fit. Again, it was a crazy year this year for this year's recruiting class. It was really tough.
Hmm.
College coaches couldn't come watch us play. NCAA players got an extra year of eligibility, and then obviously with the transfer portal, people can just transfer school to school without having to sit out a year. So
Yeah.
uh, to get that opportunity from Lafayette was amazing. Like Coach O'Hanlon has been there over 25 years. Um, Coaching staff are excellent. He's really experienced coach. Played at Villanova, was drafted by the Sixers. And the style of play they play there is really nice. I think it fits the way I play as well. And then obviously it's a really good academic school as well. I think it's like top 35 in America or something like that. So
Wow.
and then location as well. I know a lot of our friends over here in the States are sort of Philadelphia or New Jersey based, so it's pretty close to there as well. So yeah, it's
Okay.
just a really good opportunity for me. I'm looking forward to it.
And when did that offer come? Because I think you had a couple of offers before heading over, or kind of when you knew you were going over, they started to come in.
Yeah, I think I actually had an offer from Lafayette before I came to Winchendon,
Okay.
but because because I think their guards decided to return because of the extra year of eligibility. Um, I couldn't. The offer was sort of taken away.
Okay,
Um,
right.
so then, but I'd stayed in contact with them the whole year. Um, and then they offered me maybe probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So I'd
Okay.
been in touch a lot with the assistant coach Radomicki, so we developed a good relationship. And yeah, when I got the offer, I just called the coach here and called my parents, and there wasn't much hesitation.
You kind of knew straight away then, all right, I'm going to go here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So did you have offers then that if you hadn't gone to Winchendon, you would have gone to college straight, or was that you didn't really want to do that?
No, I wasn't gonna go straight to college. I think
Okay.
getting the year over here because I wasn't even sure if I would play college basketball after this year. I just wanted to see
Okay, right.
if I enjoyed, like, if I didn't enjoy being away from home, I might have just came home after this year. But
Okay.
no, I've enjoyed this year. I think just you're if going to prep school, you get to see what it's like, and you're committing to 1 year rather than four as well. So
Yeah, it's kind of like you're testing it out. Do I like it? Do I want to stay? And look, if you didn't like it, go home, and you haven't lost anything because you got an extra year of basketball where we're not playing here.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Paul Cummins was there. Was that sort of a connection? Were you in touch with him at all?
Uh, Earlier on in the recruiting process, yeah, because I knew he went there and he did well there. He had a fun experience. So I chatted to Paul a bit. He was a big help as well. So yeah, I've
Mm,
been very lucky with, like, all the people who have supported me and helped me.
yeah. It's definitely like with Dara, with Paul, there's huge Irish connections. It's cool to see because once someone goes over, let's say like Adele Thornton's a great example. There's now, I think Ella's her name, is now going to QU, and it's cool to see those connections keep going. Are you? Will you be going for his? He's tied fifth for 3 point makes. Are you? Is that something maybe down the line you might be thinking of?
Yeah, maybe that'd be cool. But yeah, not really focusing on that. But if I
Yeah,
could do something like that, that'd be pretty cool.
that would be class. Yeah. What was the major thing in the recruiting process then for you with colleges and getting to talk to coaches? What do they tell you? What's that conversation like?
Um, like Paul and a lot of people will say that, like, the recruiting process is just, it's like a business. College coaches like telling you what like, just basically trying to get you to come play for them, or
Mm,
like, so that was the thing with Lafayette. It was like the coaching staff. It was obviously with the year that it is with COVID. They were always open with me. They were always honest, and just they would just tell me how it is. So there was no bullshit. Like, it was just,
okay.
that was good, obviously.
Yeah. What did they say? What was your role? What's your role going in? What were they kind of saying to give you that expectation?
Just come in whenever. Like, I think a few of their guards are leaving this year. They were
Mm,
seniors, so I knew that some guards were leaving. So I think it's me and three other freshmen are coming in this year,
okay.
uh, and two or three of us are guards. So just come in, and yeah, hopefully we can make the transition as seamlessly as possible. I think we just have to uh, come in, sort of work hard, and just listen and learn.
Okay. And have you been able to get in contact with any of the current or the incoming freshmen, any of the team?
Yeah, yeah, we have a Zoom meeting tomorrow, actually, me and the freshmen. So,
Oh,
and then
cool.
I've been able to chat with a few of the players. So maybe if I get a visit or something, I might bump into them or something. But
You're kind of, yeah, you kind of get to, with social media, like it's different because you can kind of connect over Instagram or whatever. Looking back with those questions, like I'm just for maybe some of the listeners, what questions do you ask? Because obviously the coaches will have their own set of questions, might be different. But as a player, what's your big concern? What are you asking the coaches about?
um, you sort of ask. Well, they'll tell you, uh, they'll tell you most stuff anyway, in terms of the school and the academics and the kind of basketball that they play, and just the schedule that you'll have day to day as well. So they're all
Mm-hmm.
important things to know about.
There was nothing specific you kind of asked them at all.
Not really, not no, not really. I was just sort of finding out about the school. Like, yeah, just if you go on to the college websites as well, you can find out a lot about courses and like the coaches will be in contact with you about the style of play. Like the assistant showed me clips of the offense and the defense early on in the recruiting process. So early on, I
Okay.
knew that that would be a school that would fit the way I play. So
Okay. And do you have any idea what you want to study there, or you just kind of going in?
yeah, I'm undecided. I'm still figuring it out, but I've
Yeah.
got a bit of an idea, but yeah, still haven't decided nothing yet.
Yeah. It's good in the States though, because you don't have to decide straight away. It's not like, well, in the Republic CAO, like, and I'm in a course for 4 years, you can kind of decide and change it up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I think it might be your sophomore year you can choose, but you don't have to choose going in. So that's a good help.
Hmm. What was it like then watching March Madness, knowing potentially over the next 4 years I could be at the tournament?
Yeah, it was cool. I've always enjoyed watching March Madness. It's just yeah, it's just probably one of the best times of the year, just for me, just being able to watch all college basketball and knowing that if we win the Patriot League, which is the league we play in, then we'll be going to that is pretty cool. Colgate won the Patriot League this year, so they played Arkansas in the first round and nearly upset them. They had a pretty close game, so I
Yeah.
think the assistant said that we're meant to be scheduled to play Duke, Syracuse, and Rutgers this year as our non-conference games. So
Okay, that's cool. Are you looking
yeah,
forward to them?
yeah, that's cool.
That's class. That's like that's really big. Like for anyone who doesn't know basketball, like they're who you grow up watching. They're who you want to play. Like that must be really cool. Then you must have been pretty excited when he told you.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when he told me. I think I don't know how many people can say that they've done that. I know John Carroll played against Duke at Cameron Indoor when Zion was playing, so that must have been cool. Maybe chat
Yeah,
to him about that. But
yeah. Hopefully the Cam and Crazies will be allowed back in. You can get a sense of that atmosphere.
oh yeah, no, I'd probably guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Who were you watching? What players are you watching now, and who are you taking inspiration from? Whether it's within March Madness or in the NBA or anywhere else.
Uh, Still Steph in the NBA a lot.
Okay.
Other guards that I like in the NBA would be CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard. Those would probably be my favorites. Luka Doncic as well.
Hmm.
And then March Madness, there was just like there was different teams. I liked watching different players. I thought the Baylor guards were just uh, next level. Like Davion Mitchell, Jared Butler, especially on defense as well. They were really fun to watch.
How do you like as a player then when you're comparing yourself, or I get the sense that you're very focused on yourself and what you can control. How do you measure success then, maybe as an individual? Because I know with the team it's slightly different, but when you go and you're trying to figure out what's best for you, how do you measure success?
Um, just getting better every day. If you can look back in the day and say that you worked hard and you improved in some area of your game, then I think that's a good day's work. That's a successful day, and then obviously with the team, you're looking to improve as a team as well. But ultimately, it's about winning trophies as well. So
Hmm. Yeah, that's a nice balance. It's good to have a nice balance there with both. What do you think set yourself apart then as a player? Is it physically, skill wise? Is it mentally? What do you think that is?
uh, definitely not physically, but yeah, probably just skill wise, just the way that I can read the game, probably just my IQ level as well, just on the court. Which is that's sort of always just came naturally to me. So I would say that's probably my biggest skill, and maybe going away to Euros as well. Like I said, Irish teams have struggled traditionally with being able to limit turnovers. So I've always been pretty confident going away that not many people are going to be able to take the ball off me. So
Okay. Do you think that confidence comes from all the work you did, whether it was in that summer or throughout your career then?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Looking forward then, where do you see yourself in 10 years? It's probably hard to look that far ahead, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully, I can uh, have some success at Lafayette, enjoy my time there, and then see what happens after that. Maybe be nice if I got the opportunity. Maybe if I wanted to try and play overseas for a few years,
Okay.
then ultimately hopefully come back and win some more with Star.
Okay. So you're not pinning yourself down to a professional career, but it wouldn't be bad if it kind of came knocking.
Yeah, just see what happens, I guess.
Yeah. If you could give advice or kind of broadcast a message, because giving advice, obviously it's different for all players, to the younger players in Ireland that want to be in your position, what would it be?
Um, just that you have to. It sounds uh, cliche, like, but you just have to work hard. There's no secrets to success. If you put in the time, and you're going to see results eventually. So just keep the head down and keep working.
Mm-hmm. I get the sense then, like, you didn't grow up saying, oh, I want to play college basketball, I want to do all these things. What was the dream then growing up? Was it just to keep enjoy playing?
I still don't really know what I want to do in college, like academically, and until last year I wasn't sure what I was going to do basketball wise either. So I'm just sort of figuring out as I go and just enjoying the process with it, really.
Yeah, keep having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the sideline 7. It's the same 7 questions at the end of every podcast. Question 1, what is your favourite quote?
Oh, I don't know. There's probably loads that I could try and pull out. There's one I saw earlier in the year, which was probably appropriate. It was just because I didn't feel like going out and working out at all that day, and it was you're not gonna accomplish much or get far in life if you only work hard on the days that you feel like it. So I think that might have been Jerry West or someone like that said that. So
Yeah.
yeah, because there's going to be days that you just don't want to do anything, you just don't want to work out. But yeah, like I said, if you're not working hard on the days that you don't feel like it, then you're not going to see improvements as quickly.
They're nearly the more important days to get out practicing, the days you
Yeah,
don't want to be
yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly. That's the difference, because anyone can work out when they're feeling good and all that. But if that's the difference, really.
Yeah. Did you get that often where you were like, oh, I just want to stay home and, I don't know, watch Netflix or something?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has days like that. I think just
Yeah.
it's just trying to push through it.
Yeah. Question 2, best sporting event you've been to?
That's, I don't know. Maybe the Euros. Maybe, yeah, probably the Euros. Just being away with the team, playing at a high level. Um, I would say I can't really think of any others.
Is there nothing as a fan that kind of stands out?
Uh, I mean, like being at the Belfast Classic is cool. Being able to see college basketball at a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably maybe that as well as a fan.
Question 3, best or biggest setback or challenge so far in your career?
Maybe just over the last year, just the ankle injuries that I've had. Just trying to battle back against those.
Mm-hmm. Biggest achievement then, on or off the court?
I'd say winning the Super League probably with Star, especially just with my dad and Granda on the bench as well. That was cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah. Looking back, I know you're only 19 or you're just about 19, but would you give any advice to your 18-year-old self before coming to America?
Um, Maybe if I was younger, maybe just lift more from a younger age, like put more emphasis on getting stronger and building up my body, maybe at a younger age.
Dream dinner guest and why? You can pick a few now, I don't mind.
Uh, I have no idea. There's so many that I was.
There's nobody that, like, I definitely want to have a conversation with him or her.
I mean, there's loads. Maybe you could say like Muhammad Ali or someone like that. Maybe just I
Yeah,
know
he'd be cool.
that's someone that everyone says, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why everyone says it, because he's just, like, you know what I mean?
yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah. Final question. If your life was a book, what chapter would this be called?
Uh, Growing up,
Growing up,
yeah,
what was the biggest thing you had to do in America that made you grow up?
just coming over here and leaving family and friends back home. Just becoming more independent on and off the court.
Yeah, doing the washing as well.
Yeah, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, all that shitty stuff.
All that stuff. Yeah. Look, thanks so much for coming on. It's now an hour. I really appreciate your time, and I just want to wish you the best of luck with college and beyond. And I'm sure we'll keep in touch, and I'll probably, hopefully, post COVID, see you at some point, maybe back in Ireland. But yeah, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed that. It was my first podcast, so that
There you
was
go.
fun.
You're very good. So thanks a million, and I'll chat to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
A massive thank you to CJ for joining me today. I just want to wish him the best of luck going forward with his future college career at Lafayette and beyond. I hope you found some value during the episode, in particular to any young players who may be listening. If you would like to keep up with CJ's season next year at Lafayette, be sure to check out the description box below for the team website and social media. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.